Hi, my friends. My name is Trey Smith, and you're watching Trey's Myths and Tunes channel on Odyssey and YouTube, and Trey's Daily Ritual, Trey's Timeless 15 Minutes of Explain. And today, my talk is called Pulling Back the Curtain, Exposing the Neurotic Wizard in Charge. You. Lonely nights long ago, when I was not so strong, she came up to me, looked right through me. Yeah, we rocked in tune and played until the month of June. He came in to me, yeah. So come on home, boy, she said with a smile. You don't gotta love me and let's get high for a while. But try to overstand. Try to overstand. Try to overstand. I'm a magic woman. Yeah. Oh. Pulling back the curtain, exposing the neurotic wizard in charge. You. So the idea for this video comes from hanging out with my dear homie that unfortunately it seems didn't learn his lesson from even after possibly helping almost 500 people learn theirs on the self-existing wizard is his Mayan zodiac sign. And so he was telling the story about maybe 20 years ago chasing after some gangsters with a baseball bat last night, and I was trying to explain to him that probably the dark side were giving him those thoughts because our brains are receivers and he's a medium. And this brings up something I was studying today online, but I first heard of it from the so-called online shaman Andrew Bartzis, the sympathetic nervous system. Okay, so this is your part of your nervous system that's the reptilian, really the fight or flight, the high cost of survival. And so that if you live in a place like Santa Cruz where you have the hadron colliders, the high extreme cost of living, and the extreme competition for rentals or scarcity of legal housing, most people get through the survival mode, they get trauma bonded to forced 3D planetary matrix survival, slavery, or, basically survival consciousness. And this also goes up into the 1%, obviously. If they weren't that way, then perhaps they would do sustainable, respectful things to try to help people in reality, instead of being fake medicine men, perhaps they would be real medicine men instead of genocidal or eugenics or Nazi scams. Perhaps they would actually do altruistic things. So as Bartzis has said, we have to learn to turn on the parasympathetic nervous system instead, which is when you meditate, you relax, you learn to allow your body to heal itself and to work. And this is how I healed my 15 broken bones, besides drinking bone broth and consistent sun baths, which wouldn't be available under the new ice nucleation. And atmospheric river format we're on now. So, pulling back the curtain, you see, I have a very simple message in most of my videos, which many have already stated. Two-part message. Number one, nearly everyone on this planet is completely mind controlled by the dark side, and it's mostly, if not done with the microwave gadgets such as these laptops, or far more often cellular microwave phones. It's, through thought forms, religions, government, the media. And so, number two, in the end, as David James Rodriguez would get his people to say every week, who is in charge of your body? You are. Who is in charge of your mind? Also, I would add your thoughts, your emotions, you. So when you reclaim your sovereignty of your brain, your mind, your thoughts, realize how to use the receiver to tune into something beside the dark side, then you reclaim your sovereignty, your connection to the true Christ, okay, which is also connected to your free will, because the Christ gave you your free will. It's an amazing gift, and we're so happy. The Spirit, my spirit guides and me are so happy to help you reclaim that. It's an amazing journey that so many, I hope, hundreds of thousands at least, because it's not going to be the majority. Unfortunately, the majority took the mark of the beast experiment, and we're going on the downward path. So through pulling back the curtain of doing the shadow work in your subconscious mind, you see that through the sympathetic nervous system, through this crazy inverted idea of a dog eat dog world that you have to fight and scrap for your survival, or if you were raised in San Francisco, Santa Cruz, or LA, Seattle, or New York City, it was the reality you grew up around. The epigenetic reality was that you had to fight and scrap for your survival against all these people that were sometimes maniac, narcissistic. Okay? So you have to learn to switch from the forced 3D planetary matrix survival trauma bonding to the sympathetic, to the meditational parasympathetic nervous system, relaxation and self-respect, discernment. You got to respect your subconscious. While the Zetas and others can and will try to pump anxiety, depression, violence, homicidal, suicidal thoughts through all of their extremely advanced gadgetry, both physical and multidimensional, fourth dimensional, such as the colliders, such as their blood drinking ceremonies. While they will continue to do this as long as people allow this to occur, you are still in the driver's seat of your consciousness. You're in control of that body if you have the self-respect and will and discipline to be that wizard. What's behind the curtain besides the wizard? Okay, we have shadow selves operating the Babylon machinery. Again, the fourth dimensional narcissistic parasite blood-sucking entities can be, sometimes controlling the machinery of your subconscious mind, if not the gadgets in your slave job, in your hand or your car. And this is how the soul recycling plant is operated a lot of the time, through survival mode, okay? Through being stuck in this mentality of your little body, your little ego, stuck in survival mode. So the ego. So then we have the subject of ego objects. Okay, ego objects would be this thing. I have to do it all myself. I've suffered from that, obviously, in becoming a hermit to try to heal. And this channel is really helping me to reclaim my proper relationship and service. But in the beginning days of awakening, the ego objects preventing objectivity. Okay, so your religious dogma, your what you think you have to do, or what the world says you got to do, that whip that Satan or Lucifer or the world, the media, your friends, your peers in high school give you of what it means to be a man or a woman, or how much of a great slave you have to be. And you can never watch this guy's channel because he's not a great slave. This is what the world is going to tell you. Okay. So these are the ego objects that are going to prevent your objectivity. Your obedient subjectivity prevents community and leads to narcissistic personality disorder and narcissistic parasite entities and codependency. Okay? So as long as you obey your ego or your separation from source, your fear, your desire to manipulate and have to be the top dog, you're not going to have a community. It's going to prevent you because that's the Dark Lord. That's the Rainmaker, the Decepticons, all the parasite entity aliens working in your ego against your favor, against your ability to tune into the fifth dimensional communities all around you right now. Actually, the answer is to accept your divine powers, do the shadow work. The key is to do it. Master your mind, clear the programs, and build a beautiful life. And I can't do it for you. You know, it's a huge responsibility. That's why, like I say, a lot of people we're gonna throw away these little papers that I give them with the name of my channel here on it. That's the real reason. It's not because they think I'm an unworthy teacher. It's not because they think I'm a psychopath and because I reside in a tent. Maybe those two reasons for some of them. But again, if they think that, well, then they don't deserve to watch this, right? So, what happened with me with this guy who introduced me to this self-existing wizard? And the problem I have with this Mayan zodiac or Mayan cosmology sign is, why isn't it self-thriving? Why isn't it community thriving? Well, maybe that's the part we have to look at to heal. So what's the likely consequence most often with him and myself that we both have had become, learn to not to trust others or to fear doing business or friendship or sexual relationships with others after extreme several different individuals, not just this one cat, but this guy being one of them. You get massive fear of people often after narcissistic abuse, or it increases if you already have that. So when we have survival or survival mode as the default consciousness, it's like a massively orchestrated. It is a massively orchestrated lie. If there's no belief in a higher power, respectful beings, then that's in charge, because that's going to remove. In Santa Cruz, I saw the removal of over 5 communities where there was more than like 3 or 4 people live. Some say there's still a community that have the legal 4 people in the house. I mean, the Zombie Co-op, the West Side, the Food Not Lawns Co-op, the Cesar Chavez Co-op had over 30 people living on in the beach flats, and I don't know. There was one on Bean Creek Road. They got rid of them a couple years before the lockdown. So this region in the world, this county has gone out of their way to get rid of the communities. So this is how far it is into being controlled by the dark side and the narcissism and all that. So that's the massively orchestrated lie that everyone has to fight each other for these boxes and to survive. And the addiction often plays into this survival mode. I'll be a hypocrite if I refuse to leave my habits or my abode here and change and become expand myself. It's cold water paradise. It's in some ways, it can be very easy to become conscribed to a descending Babylonian fallen timeline. Because of the Sodom and Gomorrah type consciousness around me here, that's your epigenetic clues that it's fallen, and that I really have a strong worry that this whole region, even California, but particularly these regions around Santa Clara, LA, are a descending hub. So because of the all the gnarly things happening in the belief structure, so the self-existing wizard must learn more to do more socially in equanimity than just exist. Santa Cruz can be like psychologically like a country club prison. It can be fun, until you realize what it's like doing to you socially unless you're the master. If you like this, subscribe. I've got a little more on this topic here. Give thanks.